Okay, so yes, good morning still so far. Okay, 3 wins in a row this morning, and rating getting close to that 2130 again, which I used to have. Okay. While we're waiting, title players. Let's have a look at the title player game. A 3-2-2-1 against the 3-2-3-1. Who is this I am anyway? Gayo Rui RUI. That's a pretty good blitz rating. He's been up to 3268. What's that ranking on 3 minute? Keep moving. Is actually can't tell from that. Keep moving is ranked 21 on ICC. On we're watching the rank 21 here, 3231. What was the opening here? It'd be interesting to sort of check it out after. Yeah. It's low on the clock here. Fancy Black's chances with the extra 5 seconds. Oh, how did he do that with the clock? That's right, just play this first move and get back to that for a sec. No, he's short on time again. I thought he was catching up on the clock. No, he forfeited on time. Okay, so jabuka27. Have I played this guy before? Let's see, actually, I played this guy before. It rings a bell. Not recently, okay. Perks, I have a good memory of beating Perks anyway. Whatever this is. Philidor. So. Not Jakuba, jabuka27. Okay, jabuka. This looks like an aggressive setup. Oh, there's one guy taking the mickey with knight df6. I nearly sort of messed that up, I think. That game, it was fun. Don't tell me this is the same person. Okay. I played d5 here. Central flooding with e5 on the cards. Or knight g4, it's a bit too much for my centre to take. That's e6 and bishop b5 check. e6. Oh, so a4, I think, just to clamp down anyway. Castle here, look, great position. Queen e1 to h4 looks like routine sort of. Mind you, c4. Hang on, c4 for queen c5. Should have maybe played bishop c4 to stop c4. Naughty. Got to slow down here. And there's Queen e2 which stops c4 as well and prepares e5. So maybe Queen e2 ticks the boxes here. Knight g4 at the end of that. Bishop f4 holding e5. So e5 here, takes, it's going to be bishop f4, he's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll have less, but I can power on with e6, maybe f5, like a sort of King's Engine, 4 pawns attack style position. Hopefully that's fun. So knight g4, e6, if takes knight g4, e6. This knight's dangerous, or is it? There's h3 here as well, knight h6, there's g4 there. Actually there's take, knight e5, takes, this will be hanging for this bishop. h3 and g4 is also tasty. I think I'll go for that. Looks as though that's a crushing position. Even though it seems a bit reckless, but it's sort of on h6. Target's h6. So g4, take. And then his kind of knight is liability. And given that, so okay, so the situation here, what about a5 to stop knight b6 and then e6, where's knight going, knight can't go there because of g5, so I'll unleash this bishop on h6 now. Also the d6 and knight d5 could be fun. G5 might be a good one for knight f5, takes knight h4 at some point, but at the moment e5 is a concern. So d6 takes knight d5, queen d8. Maybe e takes there. Then there'll be knight e7 check on the cards. And if queen c6, knight e7 wins the queen. So d6 might be a good one again. Seriously worth considering to get knight e7 check in. If knight e7 happens, king h8. What about just knight g5 there? That's on f7. Protecting f7, I suppose. Think about that. There's bishop h6 there. Bishop h6, queen e5. Looks very dangerous, d6 and knight d5 anyway. To establish a knight on e7 looks pretty dangerous. It does sort out the e5 problem. The other way of doing this is e6. But he might even have knight e5. No. Okay. It's going to be sorted out one way or another now. d6 takes knight d5. Or e6. What's better, d6 or e6? Pros, cons. e6, let's say knight e5. Knight e5. Queen e5. They both look kind of crushing in their own right. In fact, e6 and e7 there, I think that makes d6 win it here for me. e6 and e7. Forget knight d5, just e6. Mind you, then there's rook e8. So e6, there's rook e8. So knight d5 first, queen d8, then e6, then rook e8, there's e7. So knight d5 brings the knight in for e6 and e7. e6, queen d8, e7, rook e8. Let's just take the queen. So e6. Well, there's queen a5, there's bishop d2. So forcing that queen d8, and then there's e6 again. So bishop d2 here to get the queen to d8. Unfortunately, bad place for the queen. Now e6 rather than ed. So knight moves e7, rook e8, e7. Knight e5, e7. Doesn't matter about knight f3, just take knight's rook. Knight supporting e7 anyway. Winning a whole rook. Rook takes f3 or queen f3? I think either, because the knight's kind of I don't know. Why is he playing on? Rook takes f3? Just in case. Doesn't seem to be much available to black here. Bishop's blocked in. Knight's on the rim. Take my rook. If bishop takes, there's knight f6 winning the queen. Here there's bishop takes f6, h6. Well, there's anything. Bishop h6. Can I lose this? There's knight b6 winning a rook if I want. Should I just win the rook? I don't know. Can't see much counterplay. I'll take the rook then. Game on. Okay, I'll just play rook e1. I don't know. There's queen e7, that looks crushing. If there's anything else. Well, let's imagine bishop c6 if this game is going to continue. Bishop c6. The game is going to continue. Oh dear. Alright, okay. Maybe I should have taken that thing now. I don't know. Bishop c3. And knight g5. Doesn't look as good as before with this knight g5 business. Bishop c4, knight e5. That's why it's important not to get too complacent about things. What about Queen E4 here? Knight E5. Queen takes B7. And Bishop C6. Just G5, Knight E5. Rook F6. I'll go for G5 just to undermine. Get this bishop into H6, maybe sacrifice the exchange. So Knight E5, G takes. Bishop C3 now. Or just H4 first. So Knight E5 and oh dear. He's coming back into the game. Good for him. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But this knight, I can't rescue the knight. Rook E3 then for Bishop C3, just to sack the exchange. Surely can't come back from this. Bishop C3, Queen A8, Bishop C3, and I'll sack the exchange. On Knight G4 then there's Rook E7. So Queen A8, okay, so Bishop C3. So I've got 4 pieces lined up on E5 now. Actually, Knight G4, I just played Bishop G7 and Rook E7. I'm just going to sack the exchange. Still a rook up. Possibility of a Queen G3 to bear in mind. So Bishop C4, if Bishop C6, Rook F5 takes Queen E7 mating. That's one way of dealing with this. Does Rook E8 looks like that's mating for Queen E7. So Rook E8, weakness of the last move anyway. So takes mates. If King F7, Queen E7 is mate. So G3 isn't an issue if it's all with check. Okay, so yeah, maybe he should have played C4 when he had the chance. So I think G4 was probably justified here tactically against the knight, and this looks grim now. This E6 idea. So winning an entire rook. Probably easiest here was just I think I made a meal out of it with Knight B6. Forget that, the knight's stranded and it's going to be munched back. Just Bishop H6 or Knight F6. Knight F6 looks absolutely dead simple here. Just breaking open the king side. So not only did I get my knight stranded, I also rescued this guy on the side. Knight F6 would just be absolutely crunch. But no, see, I gave him a glimmer of hope. The knight rerouted even to E5. Okay, comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.